the one, the only, Ben Okay, good evening and welcome to this special Motzei Shabbos edition and Pesach edition of Just Daf It as part of the greater Yeshiva YouTube. Nice break, 3 days. This is why I moved to America, to Israel, so I don't have these 3-day yontos, but I'm here in America for Pesach. It was pretty rough, 3 days, but I got to take 2 showers. So I took a shower Thursday night and Friday afternoon because I don't really keep the second day of Yontif. So I got my showers and I shower every day. If I don't shower every day, I go crazy. So it wasn't so bad. So that was the main point for me. A lot of food. My stomach is hurting. Got my tea over here. Anyway, let's get started. Ted Amud Beis on the bottom. Today is Sotah Daf Yud. The second to last line. The last line. Hu Yachal Hoshia Es Yisrael. So Shimshon and Sefer Shoftim. He began to save Klal Yisrael. Amar Rechamer B'Richanina Huchal Shuasa. What is this lesson of a Yachel? Strange language. Top of Yudam Aleph. Huchal Shuasa Shalvi Melech. T'chsiv im Tishkor Li Ulani Ulanechti. Avram made a pact with Avimelech, who is the king of the Plishtim, Palestinians. He said, if you lie, if you break the covenant of peace, so then he's not bound by it anymore. Apparently, the Plishtim attacked Klal Yisrael first, so therefore he was allowed to attack them. Ayagdal Hanar V'Yarcheu Hashem. Talk about Shimshon. He grew up. Hashem blessed him. Ma berchu. What was his bracha? Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav Sheberchu Ba'amaso. He blessed him when it came to his genitals. Amaso K'bnei Me'adam. His genital was a size. It was normal size, an average size. It wasn't extremely large. Bizarro Kanachal Shotev. However, he had either a strong desire, or when he was together, a lot of semen came out. We'll talk more about this in Ian with Ben Sion. I'm not going to miss talking about this. But Yikra Shimshon El Hashem. The Gemara really going to talk about it. Seemingly he had an unquenchable desire to be together with a woman. Vayikra Shimshon El Hashem. Hashem calls to Hashem Ayomer. Hashem Elokim Zachreinina v'chaskenina ach pamazev anekma nekam achas mishteinayim v'plishtim. Right. He's blinded. At the end of his life, he was taken prisoner. He was blinded by the Plishtim. He asked Hashem at the end of his life that he should be able to kill a lot of Palestinians, the Plishtim, by knocking down the stadium that he was in. He was mocked in. To cause it to crumble and kill all the people. What exactly was he asking? Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav. Amar Shimshon ve'agash baruch Hashem said to Hashem, Rebbeinu Shalom zachu li esrim shana shafati Yisrael. I served as a judge of Klal Yisrael for 20 years. V'lo amarti lechem mehem haver li makom makom. I never asked them to service me, even to bring my staff from one place to another place. Meaning, it sounds like Shimshon had asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu already one time for something, and then he asked him again in this pasuk that he should help him on account of the fact that his eyes were blinded. So what was the previous? The previous, he asked that he should be, Hashem should listen to his prayers because he was a good judge. He didn't, take honor from the people, and he wasn't answered because of that. He said, take revenge based on what they did to me. He took 300 foxes, and he used them to ruin the fields of the Plishtim. Why did he take foxes? Other animals could have done it also. Amar Rabbi Ebo bar Negdi, Amar Ruchi bar Abba, Shimshon, Amar Shimshon, Yov Mishachos Halachor, Rabbi Yifram Plishtim Shechazru B'Shvuasa. Apparently, according to Arshel at least, a fox, when it runs away, it doesn't turn around and run away. It runs away backwards. Like when you're playing defense in the NBA, you got to run backwards, So, it should be symbolic of the Plishtim that they also went back on their shvua, like we mentioned by Avimelech. They went back on their shvua. They attacked Klal Yisrael. Tanya Amar Shimon Achasted Bein Seifav Shal Shimshon Shishim Amo Haya. Between the shoulders of Shimshon, it was 60 amos. Shenemar, I think it's a little bit of an exaggeration. 60 amos. If an amma is a foot and a half, that would be about 90 feet. His shoulders were 90 feet wide. It's a little bit of exaggeration. Shenemar Vayishkav Shimshon Achsi Alayla V'yakam Achatzi Alayla V'yachaz B'dalto Shara. He woke up in the middle of the night. He took the doors at the gates of the city. He took the entire doorway to the city of Gaza. Gaza's entranceway is at least 60 amas. He was captured later on in life, and he was tochen. It's an interesting language. He was grinding the Beis Hasurim. Ein tchina lashon avera. Tchina is a lashon of being together with a woman. Avera. Chenu omer titachin la'achar ishti. Pasuk says in Eov, I believe, to grind after my wife, to be with my wife. When he was in prison, he was in captivity. Every Plishtim, the Palestinians, they brought their wives to him in jail. In order that they should impregnate the wives. He was a very strong man. They wanted his qualities to pass into the children. Now, the Mefarshim, the commentators asked, how could Shimshon do such a thing? It's obviously a very terrible thing to be with all these women. How could he do this? They give different answers. We'll talk about that question. Eon Van Sion, if you're wondering, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? He was blind at that point anyway. We'll talk about that. Anyone who regularly drinks wine, you bring him wine. Anyone who grows vegetables in their garden, you bring them some vegetables. If you cheat on your wife, she's going to cheat on you. I think this is a pasuk in Eov. Maybe this before wasn't. If my heart changes from my wife, made to cheat on his wife. The pasuk says, then my wife will cheat on me. And other people will bow down to her. Not bow down to be together with her. He sins with pumpkins, big pumpkins, and she sins with small pumpkins. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Shimshon danes Yisrael kaviyam shabashamayim. Shimshon judged Klal Yisrael like Hashem. Shenemar dan yadin amo ke'echad. The pasuk says, Yaakov bless him, dan yadin amo. Right, ke'echad. What is ke'echad? Like the one, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges. Amar Yochanan, Shimshon al Shmo shal HaKadosh Baruch Hu nikra Shimshon. The name Shimshon is based on the name of Hashem. Shenemar ki shemesh umagin Hashem Elokim. Hashem is a shemesh. He's a wall, umagin, and a shield. Shemesh sounds like Shimshon. Ma'ata lo yimacha. It's the word Shimshon. If someone has the name Shimshon, you shouldn't be able to erase it. Like Yud Kei Vav Kei, you can't erase. You shouldn't be allowed to erase the name Shimshon. Ela me'ein shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It wasn't from the word Shemesh. It was from the word Magin, from a shield. Ma HaKadosh Baruch Hu Magin al kol olam kulo. Hashem protects the whole world. Af Shimshon Magin b'doro al Yisrael. He protected that generation. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Bilam Chiyah Baraglo Achas. He was lame in one leg. Hayash Nemar V'yelach Shefi. Shefi is singular. He walked in, a sort of a staggering way. He was staggered. Shimshon Chiyah B'shtei Raglav Hayah. He was lame in both legs. Shenemar Shifon Aleidar. That's plural. Shifon Al-Orech. He's like a serpent slithering around on the path. Snakes, we know, have no feet. They're supposed to have feet. 5 people had unique characteristics that were similar to Hashem himself. And they all ended up being smitten. Their downfall was through them. Shimshon b'kocho. Shimshon had the might similar to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shaul b'tzavaro. Shaul had a neck, a long neck. Avshalom b'saro. Avshalom had beautiful hair. Sidkiah be'enav. Sidkiah was around towards the end of the Beis HaMikdash, first Beis HaMikdash. He had beautiful eyes. Asa b'raglav. Asa, who was the great grandson of Shlomo Melech, had beautiful feet or strong feet. Shimshon kocha d'chsiv vayasar kocha ma'alav. It says at the end when Delilah got to him when she cut his hair, he lost his strength. Shal b'savaro d'chsiv vayikach shal sacher vayipal aleh. He killed himself by falling on his sword on his neck. He pierced himself in his neck and he killed himself. Avshalom b'saro. We'll see on Amud Beis Avshalom how he died with his hair. Sidkia be'enav asa b'raglav. Shimsha, Avshalom b'saro k'nin l'meimar k'mar. We're going to say on Daf It Amud Beis. Sidkia be'enav. Sidkia, his eyes. Ichsiv v'yasein Sidkia iver. When Sidkia became older, his eyes became blinded. Asa b'raglav. Ichsiv v'rakle ziknasa chala es raglav. When he became older, he couldn't walk. According to the article, Padgara means gout, which basically means you have pain in your joints. What does it feel like? It's like piercing live skin with a needle. How did this person know? He had this illness. He had gout. Merabe Shemile, his Rebbe had gout, and he told him about it. Or Hashem knows the secrets. Sorry, the people who fear Hashem know secrets, even though they don't have that. Why was Asa punished? Why was he punished? What did he do wrong? All these people did something wrong. What did he do wrong? He called up to his army. He called up all of Yehuda. There was no one who was to be absent from the army. What does that add? Even a Chassan and Kala, they were just married. He told them, come and serve in the army and Sherul Domi for the Kala. Shimshon went down to Timnah. By Yehuda, it says going up to Timnah. Right? It sounds like it's on a high place. And by Shimshon, it says going down to Timnah. How do you resolve this discrepancy? Amar Elazar, Shimshon Shinizganaba, he made a mistake. Siv by Yerida. It's not literal. It's not telling you maybe he was on a flat land. He went down from his status when he went after the Palestinian woman, the Plishti woman in Timnah. Yehuda Shnesalabak Siv Baaliyah. Yehuda, it was actually a good thing that he went to the woman of Timnah because he had children from her. So therefore, it was a good thing. Amar Lazar Shimshon Amar Shtei Timnos Hayu. There are actually a different answer to this question. There are two places named Timnah. Hayu Chada Yerida Chada Baaliyah. One place, in order to get there, you have to go down a hill. One place up a hill. Rav Papa Amar Chada Timnah Hava. There was only one place Timnah. The Asim Hagisa Yerida. The Asim Hagisa Aliyah. Right? If you come from one side, you have to go up. One side, you have to go down. Rav Papa Amar Chad Kigon Varduno Bebari Veshuka Denarsh. For example, in Babylonia, there were three places similar to this. I mean, if you're coming from one side, you're going up. The other side, you're going down. And they were Vardonia, Bebari, and Shuka Denarsh. Vatesha Pesach Inayim. Now the Gemara starts talking about Yehuda. We just started about Yehuda. Talk about the incident with Tamar. It says that Tamar sat down at Pesach Inayim, a place where everyone could see her. So one explanation is she sat down in the former residence of Avram Avinu. Makom shekol Inayim Sofos Laroso. Anyone would want to see that place. They'd want to see Avram Avinu's house. Rab Chanan Amar Rav Makom Hayash Shmo Inayim. There's actually a place called Einayim, Pesach Einayim. V'cheinu omer tafuach v'heinam. In Yoshua it says one of the places in Israel was called Einam. V'ashur Nachmeni Amar shenasna eineh l'dvareha kshetava. Meaning, the word Einayim means that he gave basically Yehuda, she gave Yehuda eyes, basically gave him, the article translated as a color. She gave him, she led him on to be together with her. For example, what happened? Amar Allah, he said to her, right, to this potential prostitute, Shema Nachris Hat, maybe you're not Jewish. Amar Le Giorisan, I converted. Shema Eishes Ishat, maybe you're married. Amar Le Pnuya, I'm not married. Shema Kibel Ba'avich Kiddushin, maybe your father married you off. Amar La Yasomani, I don't have a father. Shema Tmeat, maybe you're Nida. I'm really tahora, and she said, I'm tahora, in order to get Yehuda to be together with her. She was jointly responsible. Vayita Eshal Beersheva. Now we're back to Avram Avinu. Avram planted an Eshel in Beersheva. What does that mean? He planted a vineyard, not a vineyard, orchard. Vinata Bo Kol Minei Megadim. Planted nice fruits over there. Yehuda Rabbi Nechem Yechamar Pardes. One say it was actually an orchard. Yechamar Pundak. One say it was a lodging, a motel. Bishlam Amar Pardes time to Sivayita. Pardes Vayita is planting. Elamandamar Pundak my Vayita. If it was a lodging, it was a motel. What is the language of Vayita? Vayita Ole Afano. We have a pasuk that says the prop of your tent is called Yita Ole Afano. The prop of the tent. Vayikra Sham b'Shem Hashem Kel Olam. Reish Lakish Al Tikri Vayikra. It doesn't say Vayikra. Ella top of Yudam Abay is Vayakri. He caused other people to call to Hashem's name. He caused other people to call out to Hashem's name. People will pass by. Ketzad. How did this happen? They went to his motel or to his orchard and they ate and drank. Amdu Lavarcho. They wanted to bless Avram. Amar Lahem, you ate from my fruit. Mishal Elokei Olam achaltam. You ate from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's fruit. Hodu v'shibchu baruch hu l'misha amar raya olam. So they thanked and praised HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who created the world. Vayira Yehuda vayechshavel zona kichista panah. Yehuda thought she was a prostitute, Tamar, because she covered her face. Mishum the kista panah chashval zona. Because she covered her face, that's why usually harlots expose their face. No, when she was a daughter-in-law in Yehuda's house, she covered her face, so therefore he didn't recognize her. Any daughter-in-law who is modest in her father-in-law's house, they're zocha to produce kings and prophets. From Tamar, we learn from Tamar. Nevi'im d'chsev Chazon Yishaya ben Amos. Yishaya was a Navi. He was the son of Amos. We'll see in a second that Amos came from Tamar. Malachim with David, right? Malachim came from David, right? The Psukim trace the lineage of David HaMelech all the way back to Yehuda. Amar Levi, David zeh Nesaras B'Yadenu. I was in Amot Amatzia Achim Havu. All right, Amatzia was one of the kings. He was one of the kings that came from Malchus based David. And we have a tradition that Amos is his brother. And Amos was the father of Yeshayahu, a Navi. He motzes. He mitotses mibayel. He motzes means she's being sent out to being burnt. But motzes sounds like she's being found also. If it really just meant to say that she's being sent out to burn, it should say mitotses mibayel. It comes to teach you, right? She had certain proofs, right? That was Yehuda, right? She had the staff of Yehuda. She had the signet ring of Yehuda. So she had these simonim, right? Basamal v'richkan b'Gavriel v'kirvan. Samal was the Yisr Hara. He tried to distance it from her, and Gavriel came and brought it back to her. That's when it was found. Regarding the incident with Tamar, it says this part of Tehillim. Amr Rabbi Yochanan Mishashin Srachu Simoneh Anasis Kiyona Ilemis. Right, when Samuel took away her simonim, I don't know that it means he took it away. It means maybe he made her think not to use them, not to use them as proof, to that Yehuda should admit. She became like a dove that doves can't speak. Doves that it's mute. David Michtam. What does it mean David Michtam? Shatsamena David. Shahaya Machvetam. David was complete, but he was also poor. Poor in the sense can mean humble. He wasn't necessarily poor. L'chol davar. Achar michtam shahaisa makasa otama. Davar acher. Sorry, different explanation. Michtam shahaisa makasa otama. His makkah is the bris milah. His malko milah, his general was tama, was complete. He was born with a milah. Davar acher. Another explanation. Michtam. Just when he was young, right, he had Rebbeim that he learned from. Lilmo Torah. Same, we learned in Maseches Brachos and the Avdalit. He used to learn from Mephibosheth, even though he was much greater than Mephibosheth. He was the king. V'hi shelcha chameh lemor leisha sher ele lo anochi hara. She sent to her father-in-law, to Yehuda. She didn't say it was him. She said, whoever these things belonged to, it was from him I became pregnant. The Tamule Meimar. Why don't you just say directly to him, it was you? Amar Rav Zisha bar Tuvi, Amar Rav, Amar La, Amar Rav Chana bar Bizna, Amar Rav Shimon Chasida, Amar La, Amar Rav Yochanan, Mishum Shimon ben Yochai. It's easier for a person to be burned by fire. He shouldn't embarrass his friend Rabbim. Where do you see this from Tamar? Now, most people think this means that it's so terrible to embarrass someone. It's better to kill yourself, to die, to throw yourself into a fiery furnace than to embarrass someone. I don't think that's the explanation over here. I think the explanation is it's easier for a person to die. The person would rather die than go ahead and expose someone in public. It's hard to expose someone in public, to speak up for yourself. Haker na Amar Rav Chama bar Rechanina, b'haker bisar la'aviv, b'haker bisru. Yehuda let his father know with the word haker, and he also was informed with the word haker. B'haker bisar haker na aktonas binchahi. Right, when Yosef was sent away, and they wanted to fake that he died, he sent his ketones pasim, a special vest that he had, to his father. Haker bisru. They informed him with the word haker. Haker na lamina lami. Right? She said, "Who does this belong to?" Tamar said, "No." She said the word please. Eina el lashon bakasha. So it's a language of pleading. Amra le bakasha mimcha haker pnei borecha. I'm pleading with you. Recognize Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Al tali minach mimeni, and don't hide your eyes from me. Vayaker Yehuda yomer sadka mimeni. Hainu da Amar Rav Chana bar Bizna, Rav Shimon Chassid, Yosef shekidesh shemaim b'seiser. Yosef, right, who made a kiddush Hashem in private. He didn't give in to the wife of Potiphar. Zachav osif la'os achaz v'shmo. He got one letter added to his name. Shal Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Ksiv Eidos b'Yosef Shmo. It added in the pasuk in Tehillim. It calls him Yehosef. Hey is one of the letters of Hashem's name. Yehuda shekidesh shemaim farhesia. Right. He was embarrassed in public. He admitted it was him. Right? His name Yehuda has all the letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Kevan Shahoda Amar Sadka Mimeni Yatsa Baskal Amra Ata Itzalta. Once he admitted and he said Sadka, she's right. Mimeni, it was me who was with her. She's pregnant from me. Yatsa Baskal Amra Ata Itzalta Tamar Shnei Banei or you saved Tamar and her two children from the fiery furnace. Or 3 of your descendants will be saved from fire. And the time Nebuchadnezzar, Hanan, Mishael, and Azariah were thrown into the fiery furnace and were not burnt. Sadka mimeni minayada. Right. He said mimeni. Yehuda said mimeni. It was from me that she's pregnant. How did he know? Maybe she was with another man. According to this explanation, the word mimeni was not Yehuda actually saying. Sadka, Yehuda said she's right. Mimeni was a baskal coming from Shamayim and saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu orchestrated this should happen. Many yatsa kavushim. Hashem wanted this to happen. Right? He wanted Malchus based David to come from this. So therefore, these secret things came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lo Yosef Oladata. After this incident, it says Lo Yosef Oladata. Seemingly, it says that Yehuda never was together with her again. Amar Shmuel Saba Chamud Rav Shmuel Barami Mishmei Rav Shmuel Barami came on the Yoda. The explanation is not like that. Once he was with her once. Shuvlo Paltzak Gemena. He kept her as a wife. The Ksiv Hakol Yosef Oladata. The Ksiv Hasam Kol Gadol Lo Yosef by Har Sinai. Kol Gadol was a great sound. Lo Yosef. It wouldn't be drowned. It kept on going on and on. Here also, Lo Yosef, it didn't stop. He was with her forever. Avshalom Nisgah B'Saro. Avshalom, we mentioned on Amud Aleph, he had the most beautiful hair, and his downfall was through his hair. Avshalom B'Saro Morad. He rebelled against David, his father, with his hair. Shnei Avshalom Lo Haya Ish Yafeh. There was no one as beautiful as Avshalom. V'gilcha as Rosho v'yamiket yom liyamim asher yigalach kaved alav v'gilcha. Like we mentioned, Mizachas Nazir used to shave his hair once a year. V'shakal esar Rosho masayim shkalim be'evan hamelech. It weighed the amount of 200 shkalim. In Israel, you have a shekel. Take 200 of them. You weigh that. Evan Hamelech. Tana Evan, what Evan Hamelech was, the weight of a king. What is the weight of a king? Evan Sha'anshe Tveria Anshe Sipori Shoklimba. In Tveria and Sipori, which are northern parts of Israel, they have different weights and measures. That, according to that weight and measure, was 200 shkolim. The Fichach Nitla Bisara, because he was too proud of his hair, he was hung by his hair. Shnemar Vayikra Avshalom Fnei Avdei David Avshalom Rochev al Peret. He was riding on a mule. Vayev al Peret Tachas Shuvach Allah. It came to an elm tree. Agdola Vayochaz Roshav by Allah Vayutan Ben Hashemayim and Aretz. His hair got stuck to the tree, and he was hanging by the tree from his hair. The mule kept on going, and he was hanging there. He took his sword out. He wanted to cut his hair to separate himself from the tree. By that time, he was scared to do that. He saw Gehenna opening from underneath him. I mean, the smart thing, the prudent thing to do is to cut his hair. He happened to be a Nazir, but it was piyuach nefesh, because it ended up being that people were running after him, and they killed him. But he was afraid to. Some people are afraid of their chumras, and he didn't want to do the Naziris, right? So people are told they have to eat on Yom Kippur. They won't eat on Yom Kippur, even though they know that that's the halacha. But here goes a melech Avshalom b'ni, v'melech lad et panav v'yizak hamelech kol gadol b'ni Avshalom b'ni. When David heard about it, he was distraught. He said, I would rather me have died than my son Avshalom. He said the word b'ni, my son, 8 times. Hanitz manaya b'ni lama. Why do you say the word b'ni 8 times? Shiva daske is Shiva madura gehenim. There were seven depths in Gehenna. Those 7 benis brought him up from those 7 depths of Gehenna. V'idach, Ika da'amri the karev reishe lagavi gufay. The 8th beni is in order to bring his Avshalom's head connected to his body. V'ika da'amri, the Yaisel almud ase. Others will say it's to bring him into Olam Haba. Avshalom lakach vayitzav lo b'chayev. One of the things that Avshalom that was wrong, he made a statue apparently of himself in his life. My lakach, amrish lakish lakach mekach ra la'atzmo. What is the lashon of lakicha, of taking? He made a bad purchase, a bad idea. Ed matzevet asher be'emek hamelech, the statue which was in the valley of the king. Amar b'china rapavava be'esa amuka shel malcho shel olam. What he did was planned out. Everything was planned out. I always say this. I said at the beginning of Sotah that the whole world was scripted from the beginning. Hashem made all the arrangements happen. You just try to decide what to do. Whatever happens is ultimately up to God. So it comes out the deep plan of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the chsiv, on top of Yud Aleph and Aleph. Hini mekim alecha rami veisecha. Right? One of the things was that David, after he sinned with Bathsheba, Hashem told them he's going to punish him. There's bad that's going to come out from your house. Who was the bad that came from? Avshalom, who rebelled against him. The word emek is darshan in a similar way. It says Veishachem emek Chevron. Chevron. That's when Yaakov sent Yosef to go get his brothers before he ended up being sold to Mitzrayim. Papa, it came out from the promise that was made to the person buried in Hebron, who was Avram. Hashem promised Avram that eventually they'll go down to Mitzrayim. There'll be a foreigner in Mitzrayim. He didn't say where it was going to be in Mitzrayim. So that was the plan. That was the covenant to Avram Avinu. So therefore, it came about. Hashem planned that it should come out through Yaakov sending Yosef to fetch his brothers. That's the conclusion of tonight's share. Stay tuned for Ian with Ben Sion when I talk about the ravenous desire that Shimshon had for women. Was it a bad thing, a good thing? I'll tell you my opinion. Ian with Ben Sion coming up next.